Despite Ninim's wishes, Wayne's predictions were coming true one after the other. Yes, there was some opposition among the soldiers to receiving instruction from the Imperial troops, but the military began carrying out his plans after he insisted they follow his lead. The results were dramatic. Utilizing the doctrine and wealth of the most powerful nation on the continent, the Kingdom of Natra's armed forces rapidly grew in strength. At the 3-month mark, their troops were more powerful than they'd ever been. Yep, things are going my way. Wow, it's hard being right all the freaking time. The new and improved Wayne was in a fine mood. His office had once been a hub for angry grumbling, complaining, and wallowing in self-pity, but it had since transformed into a place where he could be heard humming a peppy tune on any given day. Your efforts to bolster our strength appear to be going well, admitted Ninim, who was next to him. She still didn't look entirely convinced, but she acknowledged the results nonetheless. But someone will get the better of you if you're arrogant and careless. Oh, come on, Ninim. Who could possibly pull the rug out from under me now? Barring some major natural disaster, crippling the entire continent. The rest's all procedural stuff. I'm ready to think about what I'll do with my retirement. Seriously? She gazed at him in weary discontent as he prattled on and on about traveling around the continent. But he was interrupted by a sharp knock from the office window. Perched on the ledge, a bird with a cylindrical object attached to its leg was repeatedly bashing the pane with its beak. It was one of Denim's messenger birds. She opened the window to untie the missive from its leg. We have urgent news from our spies in the Empire. Urgent news? What, has the Emperor suddenly decided to deploy his troops or something? Let me see. As she consulted the contents of the letter, the blood was sapped out of her face. The Emperor has died. What? Wayne blinked. The office was strangely silent. They locked eyes, but every other part of their body was frozen in place. They must have looked like a pair of lambs tossed onto a deserted field. Somehow, I feel like I heard something heinous. But no, most likely. No, most definitely a mistake. So read it again, Ninim, just to be safe. What did it say? He sputtered. The Emperor of Earthworld has died. Wayne buried his face in his hands and looked up at the ceiling. I see. So the Emperor died. He finally vocalized, testing it out on his tongue. What? He died? Died? The guy freaking up and died? But wait, I thought they said he recovered or whatever. Hey, what the hell is going on here? His condition had taken a turn for the worse, so he was resting as much as he could. But this appears to be rather sudden. Could it be some kind of mistake? They've already made an official announcement within the Empire. They could have kept it under wraps, but I imagine there was some political dealings going on within the Imperial Court. No! He yelped frantically, tearing at his hair. This is bad. This is very bad. Wait, hold on. What about our deal? Let's see, if the Emperor dies, that means Natra is... He was interrupted once again by a violent knock on the door, which flew open as a panicked messenger stumbled in. Pardon me, Prince Wayne. It seems the Empire's troops have begun to move out. What? By some strange miracle or perverse luck, he managed to stop his screams from blasting out of his mouth. Not that the messenger took any notice of Wayne's inner turmoil. He hurriedly continued with his report. We believe they're heading toward the eastern border. Their destination is unknown. Commander Rackham wishes to know if he should pursue. Wayne's thoughts raced around and around as he listened. The Emperor's untimely death. Imperial troops approaching the border. The two were clearly connected. The next person up is... His premonition soon came true. Please wait. I will mediate this. Imperial Ambassador, please stay back. I beg of you, there's no time. There was a scuffle on the other side of the open door. He could hear a group of people arguing back and forth, as one voice grew more and more shrill and insistent. Ninim subtly attempted to stand between Wayne and the door, blocking the way with her hands. He could already guess who was about to appear in front of them. Your Highness. Of course, Feisch Blundell was the one stomping around and pushing past the guards. She immediately knelt before Wayne. I understand it is impudent of me to cause such a commotion in your palace. However, I must speak with you immediately. I hear your soldiers are moving toward the border, muttered Wayne, shooting an icy glance in her direction. The Empire has every right to do so, but why wasn't this discussed earlier? Was I wrong to assume we were committed to forging good relations? It's not like I can say anything else. You would never guess from his composure that Wayne was writhing in agony inside. I get it. I'm panicking too. But she can't just come bursting in here. Oh, come on. It'll be impossible to talk in secret with everyone else in the room. If we were alone, I could have got along with her plan or something. The messenger, the guards, Ninnim, their eyes bored into Wayne and Feisch as everyone waited with bated breath. Please accept my sincerest apologies. I promise we have no ill intentions. Well, why else would they be on the move? We received an order from the homeland. Our troops are to report back as quickly as possible. And what might be the reason for this order? Feisch hesitated, worried about discussing sensitive information here, but she needed to reveal this information to convince others around her. She admitted, it's because His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor, has crossed the Great Divide. This confession rippled through the room, echoing and ricocheting again and again. How could this happen? With her head bowed low, her heart was heavy with great torment and affliction. The reason for this reaction was not the Emperor's death. It wasn't even the reckless actions of their troops. No, it was her regret for failing to see through Wayne's plan. The Emperor had many loyal followers and servants, and while Feisch had her own agenda, she counted herself among them. This devotion was why this entire situation was so unexpected. In fact, to be completely honest, she'd actively avoided thinking about the possibility. What would become of them if the Emperor passed away right while they were helping make Natra's troops stronger? But he didn't revere our enemy the same way. He'd planned for this to happen the entire time. With the exception of forcible military occupation, it was normal for stationed troops to withdraw and report back to their homeland in the face of domestic strife. This was doubly true if they were on friendly terms with the nation in question. As part of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Feisch couldn't stop it from happening. It wouldn't do much good, aside from appealing to the troops directly. She was in no position to give orders, and lacked the authority to stop them from returning home. But this left behind a whole army of soldiers in Natra, fully trained and funded by the Empire. They couldn't possibly be integrated into the Imperial Army until things settled down. I was so preoccupied by our advance to the west, but he was considering each and every scenario. She couldn't deny Wayne's intuition and skill. She had lost. As frustration and admiration mixed and swirled together in her heart, Feisch began to ponder. What was he thinking? What kind of brilliance flickered behind those cold eyes? She'd never guessed the answer. Oh, hell no. They totally think I pulled a fast one over the Empire. But she was better off not knowing what was flailing inside of him. We have no intention of invading the kingdom of Natra. Our goal is to swiftly return to our homeland. Please allow our troops to withdraw. It is out of respect for the Emperor, she begged, bowing her head. If this prince was foolish, he'd use this as an opportunity to shoot their troops from behind. Understood. Please accept my deepest condolences for your loss and relay this message to your loyal officers and soldiers. If they must immediately report home to the Empire, we will not interfere. You have my gratitude. It's a shame we'll have to end this training halfway through, but I assume there are important matters that must be dealt with. I hope peace will settle onto your lands as soon as possible. Thank you. As news of the Emperor's passing traversed the continent, It left behind a great sense of unease among the various nations, alongside ambition and a desire to use this to their advantage. It has been said that on this day a mournful wailing echoed through the royal palace, but no detailed records of this incident remain. Why me?